not go beyond this boundary and guard them and work on the primary aspects, that is the goal, and not getting subscribed on yoga and other things. So help them in those aspects, and naturally other aspects will fall in line, right? So there may be many practical aspects that are there. So today's primary focus was on, creating a nice environment of an environment that is permeating with love and care, and not an environment that is permeating with control and like bossy, this one, right? So that is a important thing. So like being bossy, we can never become boss. So by being being a nice servant, we can become boss. That is the irony of the whole this one actually. So this is the experience of many people, that when people try to become bossy, they never become boss. It becomes very difficult for them to become a boss. So a leader who is very much caring for the spiritual growth of the subordinates, and then very much caring for how they will actually progress in Krishna consciousness, thing that we discussed. I know there is a lot of exceptions are there in this topic, so we'll open up for question answers and discussions on this. Hare Krishna. How do we set boundaries? So the goal that we give, and what all things that they can do and not do, we need to have some certain rules and regulations and boundaries. For example, in a greater sense, we have the boundary of 4 regulative principles, right? So that's in a very broader sense that boundary is there. So then we have many different levels of boundaries that are there. So we can set those things.
Practically say there is Janmashtami and one partner is going to be a person, and they come back and say, can I do all this? So that is when I say you do this for your own use. That is how
so now we can say that this one of boundary is budget. In Janmashtami services, Prabhuji, this is the budget, and in this, you do excellent service. You have full freedom to do anything and everything, but this is the budget. That's one practical example of setting a boundary, and at the same time giving the freedom. So now, if we say this, decoration seva is given to somebody, and you have to put arch here, and you have to put this flower only, and you have to put, then that is micromanagement, So then the devotee may say okay, fine, cool, no, you can only do it. So we say, we give that this kind of different people, we need different kinds of boundaries also. If there is a Brahmana, we can give a very wide boundary. There is a Kshatriya, we can give a little more stringent boundary, and then if we're dealing with a Shudra, then we have to be very stringent in boundary, because led to himself, he will do, he can go crazy, right? So like that. So based on the category of people whom we are dealing also, so that applies, where the boundary will set. So that's where our expertise comes. We have to give them freedom of choice. If they tax their brain for this service, they will develop in their Krishna consciousness, they will develop maturity, and they will handle things, and they will create some problem with some devotee and come back, and we can educate them on how to deal with devotee and all those things. So there's so much of things that can happen. So, and freedom beyond also, it can spoil, and not giving freedom also, it can spoil actually. So which degree of freedom, that depends on our expertise, how we will cultivate the leaders.
First one was about culture. It takes a couple of generations. So we wanted to understand how much is our own Prarabdha, whatever we have done previously, affects that against the culture that we come into. So we have people who come into a very devoted family also might not turn out to be a devotee. So how do we understand that?
See, turning into a devotee, that's a different subject altogether. So turning into a devotee, we may have the external culture which is coming from the mode of goodness, but that is not sufficient. Krishna consciousness cannot be brought about by any material means. So Krishna consciousness can only come from bhakti, right? So that is a very key principle. So now they may have a very less bhakti sukruti, but they may have a lot of mode of goodness. So you may find a lot of culture in that person, but he may not take up Krishna consciousness, right? So like he is having no karma sukruti or jnana sukruti or other sukrutis, but he is not having sufficient bhakti sukruti. So then he will not be able to take up Krishna consciousness. So now we are talking about a person who comes into bhakti, accepts Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and willing to practice Krishna consciousness, and now like the culture of Krishna consciousness, how he will adopt. No, that thing we are actually talking about. So that it takes quite a good number of time, no, quite good amount of time. They're proper, no.
Like ideology, like one of our members, he's like more with respect to jnana, so he is like Nirakarvadi, so he wants to jnana. But we can't straight away say that something against that person straight away.
This is a very nice example. So with this example, I can actually explain this particular point, allowing the mistakes to happen. So now we know like what is, if imagine, I'll explain from this one of, like we have a course called Discover Yourself. You know, youths generally we take that thing. So because it's quite, we have to give Krishna consciousness in quite a logical way, you know, because we are teaching to the college students and things like that, and at the same time, Krishna consciousness have to be kept a little hidden also, you know, for them when we, because if that, you know, gets known in the college, so then they will throw us out. You know, the preaching only will stop. So then, so with this particular aspect is that, no, in the first session we have the goal is that to establish that there is so much of creation that is there. So creation implies there is a creator, no? And there is so much of design is there and art is there. Art implies an artist, no? And there is so much of coordination is there, right? So these kind of things, we just establish this. And somebody may say like, no, I don't believe in God. We didn't ask you to believe in God. So, like, what are we discussing about? We are discussing about like, no, if there is an organization, order that involves, somebody says like, no, I am attached, like there is God is like Nirakar, Nirvishesh, no, Brahma Jyoti and things. Okay, fine, like no, I don't deny it. No, you understand today's subject. So allowing the mistakes to happen, because that is not something that I need to handle at this session. So I can allow that to exist. I don't need to refute and counterattack and all these things in this particular session. So we have a progression of the session is there. So like we just can, you know, have that much of information that is given, right? So this is how much like we can allow the mistakes to happen.
So we are saying goal is attaining Krishna and not to fall in karma and yoga. So if the devotee is doing 16 rounds and saying when I chant Krishna, my desires are not fulfilled, I go Sai Baba, my desires are getting fulfilled. So how to handle the situation? So
that means they are chanting, but still they are not devotee. No, devotee means who is a devotee, who is called a devotee. And Shraddha means not to accept. So I have certain things, so he has to fill all these things, only I'll accept as God. So then that means like we have not even started bhakti. No, so I've got it, part and parcel of I am meant to render service to the Lord. So this means there, then it's called bhakti. Now, not treat them as a rounder to be taken in the. No, like give this one slapping and we can actually get them. But if it is not a weakness, if their conception is only like that, if they have not understood that Krishna is Supreme Lord, and even if somebody else have to give something, that has to come from the Lord, and no, it is not very chaste, no, to take up shelter of somebody else and things like that, and especially in this particular case, this particular personality, no, he is not the Supreme Lord. He is not even a acharya, no, in the line of devotional service, and so then it is not very. Means if they are so much attached to that particular conception, so then like we'll have to handle them with care. No, we'll have to handle them with care. So at a lower level we have to handle them. So one of the things is like we can establish logical argument. So one of the arguments, if they are already seasoned and like heard a lot of Krishna conscious philosophy, so we can say that if one argument that I generally give is that if a particular material thing is good for you, so Krishna will only give, no? But if your life is not designed for that particular thing, even if you get that material benefit, you will not be able to fit it and the life will become more miserable. So Krishna knows like what to give. If you go to demigods or any other personalities, whatever you ask, they may give. Just like a small child asking for a chocolate, the father will not give, but shopkeeper will give. And then the results may not be good. Like that. So like these examples we can actually give. So, but then ultimately we have to work on their advancement in Krishna consciousness. Somehow or other they should develop the faith in Krishna consciousness. And faith, how it actually develops? What is the way the faith actually develops? No? So faith actually comes from a person who has faith, and then their interaction with them, and at a very lower level, even feeding them prasadam can create faith. At a little more higher level, so like serving a person who has a lot of faith in Krishna consciousness, so they will get intense faith in the Krishna conscious principles. So like this, we need to know like how actually faith can be inspired in the person, and we have to work on that aspect. So this aspect we should give some superficial answer, and then we should not own also. Like we should not tell that you should not go, you should go or you should not go. If they are so much attached to it, we may say like, these are all the things, now you take a choice, you do, you may not go. That's not good. So if they don't ask, then they may go, but it's okay. We'll keep working on the faith aspect. So we'll keep working on feeding them more prasadam, giving them more like this one, and praying for them to Krishna, and many other aspects, many other ways we can actually inspire faith in them. So when the faith increases, their detachment from Babaji Maharaj will happen automatically. Like that. And when they come to a certain level, and we know like it is only a little bit, then we can slap and get them. So but before only we do that, then they'll leave Krishna consciousness. So we need that, there the expertise has to be there, like to handle the situation. Case by case, that's why we cannot have a blanket answer for these things. How much is their attachment? How much is their affiliation to Krishna consciousness? So all those things have to be evaluated, to consider which method to apply at that point in time. So this means maybe like we have not handled the mistakes. So the mistakes doesn't need to be like, we don't need to react to that, or we don't need to always chastise or correct and things like that. But we can always have a discussion. Like this particular thing has happened. How this could have been made better. How do you feel like whatever services are happening, do you feel everything is going good? And expect them only to reveal this one. Right? And if they're not revealing, so then we can ask like, this particular thing has happened in this way, can this could have been done in a better way, right? So this is a very nice way of handling the mistakes, right? And this is all based on relationship. If the relationship is very, very thick, and the devotee is seeking correction, then we can directly correct. That's not a problem. So this is a typical problem. Why we mentioned this particular session is that this is a typical problem we face in so many places, where the subordinate is not willing to be corrected and the superior is so much willing to correct. So just to address that particular scenario, we had created this particular topic, and it is quite rampant. It is there in so many places. It is there, and that becomes a very heated issues in many places. So we may not having that issue, but still to know about, to be aware about this particular topic is very essential. Not to, when somebody is resisting, not to force them or not to apply control over them, right? So when resistance comes, we should understand that it has gone beyond the control. Now trying to apply control is not going to help actually. So then we need to apply other principles over there. So if relationship is good, we don't need to do this roundabout way. So we can directly offer corrections. Like that. Yes, ma'am.
So in the initial days of the pushing for the shiksha is required. At the same time, we should allow the boundary. Where, what is the practical way of?
So now one devotee, he did a very nice experiment and it worked well. He told, he set the boundary as, Prabhuji, next 4 months we should take this siksha. That's the boundary. And now within this, whatever the problem is there, you tell like we'll discuss. So now this one is like, no, it is a devotee, like different ways of applying pressure is there. No, one way of applying the pressure is like you should do it. No, that is one way of applying the pressure. Another way of applying the pressure is you render so much service to that devotee, and then he asks like, no, Prabhuji, what can I do for you? You should get this siksha. And then he comes in so much pressure, right? So this pressure is much better than the pressure where you say like, you keep on saying like, no, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. So like when somebody is not going to do, then where we will start doing a lot of service to them, no? So then he becomes so much obliged to us. And then like, when he becomes so much obliged to us, then we ask like, no, what do you want? No, please increase your rounds, And what will he say? It'll be, Prabhuji, like, this is the most difficult thing. If you ask, like, then I'll do. So like that, the different ways of actually, we can actually apply the pressure, and this one. Because we have to apply this pressure, the living entity doesn't have any interest in going back to Godhead, So like we have to get them to the level of, chanting 16 rounds and accepting a bona fide spiritual master. We have to get them through all these things, And if we apply gross pressure, they may become like, burnt out, And if we have to apply a different kind of pressure. The pressure of love is always very nice, So that is also pressure, The pressure of love is always nice. You give love and then you say like, no, now you have to do it. So that is the way of putting it actually. And when this is also there, like, the devotees say that you see like, no, I'm not forcing you. But if you take the siksha at this time, like, no, I'll be very happy. So like that, when we put that, so then they take it up in that nice spirit actually. Mm-hmm.
How can we do service to them? So mostly we are connecting more Friday for Bhakti. Only once in a while we will call them on this. What way we can serve them and to get connected?
See, the one way of this one is like to keep our target, that who is my member. So one who is like one who is able to share his heart, and we have a very thick relationship. He is actually my member, Rest of them, sooner or later they may leave, That is the truth of the matter, Sooner or later they will leave. So how many people I am actually getting connected, So that many people only I can sustain, And if I am not able to connect with somebody, so then what we can do, what all the remedies are there. So we can, one is that we can offer prayers. I have devotees like, one of the Bhakti Vishya leaders I had seen that, he had his Bhakti Vishya member list in the altar, next to the altar, not in the altar, next to the altar. And every day, like he will read all the names and he'll pray for them personally, So now what happens is, this one devotee was mentioning this particular logic that the tortoise hatching its eggs. Now, you know how the tortoise hatches its eggs? By meditation, right? So where is this mentioned in Bhagavad Gita? Somewhere it is mentioned, no? It is mentioned somewhere in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So we learn from this one only the practical management tips also. It's practical preaching tips. So this is like when the Bhakti Viksha leader is meditating about the member, so the member actually makes advancement. So like it is not just when we speak in the Saturday session and once in a while we make a call, only through that he is actually advancing. No. So how much we actually think about them and how much we actually pray for them and we think about their welfare. So when we do this thing, automatically the connection happens. It automatically happens. So this is an exercise that needs to be done. So yeah, like this, I have not put so much into practice. Little bit I have put this into practice, but I'm more of a mechanical person. So like, you are very nice leaders. You should put this into practice and you should you should bring about nice results. And I know like many of you are doing very well in this particular aspect. So like thinking about them, praying for them, meditating about them. So that actually helps in developing relationship with them, So.
When we set the goals for our members, for ourselves, then the action goes into the same direction. For example, just hypothetically, for a member, if I decide your goal can be one, getting the Krishna Prema, going back to Korea. This is one. So that everything else you do has to be met. Second goal can be, Guru Maharaj says, now for that you have to make good living. For that you have to make good system. So all things will become an ingredient in the So how do we decide when to set what to do?
Like in the 9 stages of bhakti, we have milestones. No, each level. So only if you keep only the lofty goal, so then people may become indifferent to the goal, and or sometimes like people may become depressed. No, saying that it is too difficult to attain. No, we will not be able to attain. So philosophically also we see like we are given goals at every levels, and practically also goal. No, for Bhakti Viksha leader, at least produce one more leader. No, and ensure that all the members are going through Siksha level. And then we safely part. So this goal is something like a person can relate with and achieve and things like that. So and as a member, what can be the goal of a member? Goal of a member is like immediate goal of a member is that so you have to come to the level of Prabhupada Ashraya or come to the this particular level. So that's very nice. Like why it is so nice, because when you come to that level and you will take an oath in front of Srila Prabhupada, you will get the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, you will get the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas. With that you can actually progress very nicely. So in this way we can actually put a goal. This one. And various other intermediate goals are also there, like giving up non-vegetarian, like taking up to more number of rounds and studying Srila Prabhupada's books daily and hearing lectures daily. So many intermediate goals are there, right? So like how to attain that. So now we can take one particular this one. So we have a list of things to achieve, with each member. So and we make a plan, with each member. So we can sit together and make a plan. So Prabhuji, we don't show the entire list. We show the next possible thing which he can easily relate with, and if he is very good in hearing, then we can put the hearing in the first this one. So can we start this much weekly quota of hearing and weekly quota of maybe 2. So sitting and working out with them. So then first they may say Prabhuji, I don't have any time at all, not even 1 second. I say no problem. Don't get some time mil jayega kidhar put a hands free and I can hear. Oh, this is very nice idea. You can do this thing. So we have to take this one, and then next week we can actually take this one review. Prabhuji, were you able to hear 2 hours of this one in this one? Half an hour. It's so nice. Get to hear, to get to hear about the Lord. It's so very it's so very rare in this world, and you got an opportunity to hear half an hour. It's so amazing. Please try it out. More. And when he gets encouragement, he feels I'm doing something nice. I have to do more. So like this, we have to see and make a plan with every single devotee to actually make all these aspects of sadhana in their life established, right? So this is what is the content of our regular talk. Regular talk, when we have a big list of things to achieve, and he is there in a particular level. What is the next step and how to inspire him to take up the next step, and what all challenges can probably come, and how to actually give solutions to those challenges and make him to do that particular thing, right? So this is the general one of connect call. Like when we do this is what we actually do. And they may not understand this is what we are doing, but we are so we are doing this thing, right? Like that. Any other aspect?
Most of the time, they take a lot of time. If I do that, I'll be able to do that within a short
Short time.
And there are a lot of management involved, so I have to keep checking with them. How do we?
See now, if our goal is to only execute, that has to happen now in whatever shape and form it happens. It's okay, but through this, I have also a goal of getting these people engaged in Krishna consciousness and taxing their brain and how to execute, and that will inspire leadership skills in them in very efficient time or in efficient way. But it's okay. It got executed, but I'm being all around, and Krishna is not addressing any of those things. and he's just giving, the demigods are praying that no, our property chala gaya, and Lord says, okay, fine, I'll get your property, but then you do these things, then I'll get your relation with the Lord. Lord will go and they will also get into their sense gratification. So Lord is prolonging their association with Lord, and think about me and you will advance in Krishna consciousness. And Lord's only purpose is this, how to get these people back to Godhead, and not like, how to arrange things nicely in this world. If you create a mess, it's okay. You will come back to Godhead. So like the Lord is actually looking for how and what all ways actually these people can be given Krishna consciousness, right? So saying all these things, we also want some effective results and effective service to be done. It is not that all service are going messy, So we should ensure some level of this one, but with the key principle of devotees are given the first preference. Like devotees, growth is given the first preference, the greater goal that we need to achieve. So we have to give priority to that. Okay? Pause here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Hare Krishna. So it is like, I'm very happy that you are all coming together and doing this event. And I think it's the first circle in all of our ISKCON Whitefield is trying to do this kind of experiment. And following your successful and illustrious path, everybody might follow later on. So it's very nice, and very nicely led by Kartikeya Prabhu and like Krishna Kanamati Prabhu and Srinidhi Prabhu, and having these discussions on these matters along with our philosophical discussions and along with our other things. So because this is where we see that many temples are struggling. So everyone, there is very good this one about bringing about like starting a new area. Everybody can do, number of people also can do that, but prolonged period of time, keeping people together and keeping them nourished, essential aspects. Without this, like it is quite difficult for us to actually maintain a big community of devotees. So where this principle of Amanina Manadena should be very strongly, it should be there. So that is why we, in the beginning, we like sang this bhajan, where it is like pointing to one's own faults. And here we saw that like, we have a lot of tendency, naturally, like in the Kali Yuga, we have a lot of tendency to find fault. So this tendency can be nicely dovetailed where we can dovetail this tendency to find fault. Find fault in ourselves. Right? So more we find fault in ourselves, more we will become surcharged in Krishna consciousness. More we will develop humility, more we will be able to be also very nicely, nourished and united. Right? So, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So last time we were discussing that when we should come together, it's going to be next holiday. So this time, many people will not know. So we'll take off. So I think that shows the dedication. For me, so I can come anywhere.
And Krishna gave an off also on that. Pure desires are nicely fulfilled.
In fact, I keep saying, don't come to expand this mission, to learn more. I can see that wonderful goal.
Have nice people, who are sincere in practice of Krishna consciousness and decorated with very nice qualities. So nice, very good.
Harikshetra really likes to address the video, so he saw where you always say this. So we are very fortunate, and today's session was very effective. I'm sure we learned a lot of things. So let's pray at the lotus feet of the Lordships for Prabhuji's health, and may he continue guiding us for a long time to come. And also, let's express our gratitude to Prabhuji for this wonderful session by chanting
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Some leaders are native there online.
Oh.
So next we'll have the group discussion. I'll just make the groups and tell the topic, then take a short break and start and begin your preparation. I was forming 4 groups for the crowded list, so I have 3 groups.
So they'll make a choice of one topic. So next week we have next week we have